Let me see how I'm gonna fucking talk about this. Pay no attention to the blotchiness of my skin today. I had a disagreement with a face mask. Face mask one. I wanted to make something of an update video, kind of like a vlog, if you will, just talking to you guys about some things. First of all, nobody panic, it's all good, channel's still going. I'm gonna be getting new content up as soon as I can. There's a few things that I need to figure out, take care of, get back in my possession before I can do that, but we're getting there. The focus of this video is actually going to be me, to the best of my ability, telling you guys what exactly happened in kind of a timeline fashion that led to about 2017, 2018 is when my family and I started to do some house hunting. You guys know that we have been working on moving for some time now, but that is about when it started, when we seriously started going and looking at houses in person. But at some point we kind of took a break from that because we realized, as my parents put it, we were putting the buggy before the horses, so we needed to focus on our old house, getting it ready to sell before we really looked at new places. Late 2018 to 2019 fucking sucked, okay? 2020 sucked, but listen, my year sucking started about late 2018, 2019. Without going into a hell of a lot of detail, we were having some financial issues, and it kind of led to me being the only person who was bringing in some money through transcribing work. And by the end of 2018, maybe, they fired me. So that sucked. But along with that, something that really put some big speed bumps in our progress in preparing our house and finding a new house was the fact that my dad had to go to the hospital once or twice, I think. I can't, Jesus. Again, not going into a huge bit of detail here, but he's fine. It wasn't like a huge issue. I think at some point he actually cut something important in the thumb of his hand at some point when he was trying to do something for the house. Finally, we listed our house in summer of last year, so that was out on the market now, and we were all very new to this. We really didn't understand everything that was gonna go into selling our house. This was the first time my brother and I had ever moved. Like, we grew up in this house, this old house, not this house, the other house. But during this period, we thought, okay, fine, the house is listed, we're good. Now we're gonna be able to take some time to actually find some houses of interest where we could move and go look at them. That didn't happen. Essentially, people could make appointments, in a way, with at least 2 hours notice to come view our house. And we had to do whatever little bit of cleaning that we needed to throughout the house, get ourselves and our 11 animals in the car and leave before they arrived. Now, I really cannot remember, I'm sure I wrote it down somewhere, but I really cannot remember just how many times people viewed our house. There were a few that were repeat visitors, if you will. But, you know what's really fun is when you leave, okay? You spend at least an hour away from the only place that you can reside with all your animals, all yourselves. And you come back thinking, okay, it's good, they've been through there. And just as you're taking your jacket off, they arrive. That was fun, but a completely separate story. Anyway, at about September, I think, of last year is when there were 2 people who put a bid in for our house. And we decided to go with one because it wasn't a low ball. You know, kind of important. Not to be cheated. And we accepted that, and we had about 30 days before the closing date in which they would take over possession of the house. And again, we thought, alright, during this time frame, hopefully that will be enough time for us to be able to look at some houses and find one that it will be just for us. Instead, we ended up having to take care of some ticky-tack shit that the potential buyers or buyer wanted to have taken care of before they took possession. So you can kind of guess how that went. October 8th was the last full day that we had in our old house. We were essentially trying to get the remainder of our stuff into a storage unit, whatever we had left in the house that we didn't absolutely positively had to have with us wherever we were gonna go before we had another residence. And let me tell you, there's a little piece of information here, okay? Starting at about 2017 is when we were officially moving our shit into storage units. We were still getting shit out of the house the day before closing. Fam, I'm not joking when I say that we have, or had, 6 storage units of varying sizes. But anyway, October 8th, we're rushing around doing the best that we can, trying to get all the rest of our shit loaded onto a trailer so we can get it to a storage unit. We all got about 4 hours of sleep because we were working well into god red shit hours of the night / morning, and we woke up before the sun to try to finish it off. No breakfast, barely any sleep, full panic mode. Dawn, October 9th. This was D-Day, as my brother likes to call it. Like I said, we spent a majority of the morning trying to get absolutely every last thing out of the house as quickly and efficiently as we could. The problem is that we ran out of space in the last storage unit that we had gotten. This was before we got 2 more equaling 6. So we actually ended up putting quite a bit of our stuff that was left in the driveway of our neighbors. It was very nice of them to allow us to do that, and they actually helped quite a bit, but we still ran out of time though. Like, we still ran out of time. The buyer showed up to make sure that we weren't leaving behind any trash or some shit. They were very cool about it though, but you'll notice a pattern when it comes to my family and myself, which is we try to do things like on time, in time, not last minute. It's always last minute. We had the trailer hooked up to our car, full, the inside of the car full. I had bleeding blisters on both my heels and still no food. So the plan at this point that we had talked about and planned before this last day was that we were going to take the cashier's check from the buyer or the realtor or whatever and go to the bank, and with that we were going to rent an RV in which we would use to reside in and also travel to wherever we were going to be looking at houses. Can you guess? Can you guess? I'll give you a second. Go ahead. Here's the thing. The bank had to process the money because it was such a large amount that they couldn't just, hand over access the same day. So we had about $200, no food, and no place to go. We drove around to a handful of different motels looking for a place that was both animal friendly, like pet friendly, and was in our price range that would also allow us to be able to, eat something. And by this time, fam, it was late. It was dark. It was cold. I think I blocked most of this out at this point. Like, I was dealing with an empty stomach that was to the point of pure and utter nausea. Don't even look at me with a crouton at this point, okay? Horrendously frayed nerves, and I know it wasn't the only one, of course. Tired as fuck. I just wanted some place. I would settle for a fucking piece of floor at this point. Doesn't have to be carpeted. To pass out on. Needless to say, fam, you haven't lived until you've had a complete and utter mental breakdown in a King Soopers restroom. 'Cause I did. We finally got a motel It looked like it was stuck in the 70s, which would have been okay, except for the fact that there were some concerns. We literally had to sneak our pets in. I'm not joking. Like, we were on the ground floor. We specifically asked for ground floor room, and it had a sliding door, specifically so we could slip the animals with fucking blankets over their heads like hostages into this motel room. One of our dogs, the elder dog of ours, Rusty, he, just to express how much he liked this particular motel room, he took a piss in it twice. But of course, at this point, I didn't give a shit. I really didn't give a shit. I skipped dinner, had a few sips of like ginger ale, and passed the fuck out. Essentially, as soon as the pets were in, I was like, yeah, okay, deuces, good night. Yeah, see you tomorrow, I guess. I don't know. We finally had some form of breakfast the next morning. We spent the day, essentially, with some help. As far as help getting the stuff that we had put in our neighbor's driveway into a new unit, and kind of repeated the process that we had gone through the night before, which is trying to find a motel that was in our price range where we could take the pets. It was another cheap, dirty, honestly horrible, worse than the first one, motel room. Let me tell you something. You ever run across a motel that has best in the title? It's not. We asked for no smoking. I don't think they had a no smoking room. There were some mysterious, suspicious stains on the walls and the ceiling. I don't even want to think about the carpet. It's a great thing when you look under the bed. You see your cat hiding under there with a used, I assume, old toothbrush, an empty little alcohol bottle, looking at you going, what hellhole have you brought me to? And what's really fun about this particular place is that my brother took his dog, Jet, outside so he could, go to the bathroom. And not a few seconds later, fucking knocking out the door. And I'm thinking, oh shit. I look out the peephole and I see the person in charge of this lovely establishment. And again, I think, oh shit. My mom sleeps outside while my dad and I are trying to contain the other animals. And apparently, this lovely lady was saying, you can't have that dog here. You cannot have that dog here. Darling, I don't think it's gonna make a goddamn bit of difference, especially since as we were rolling up here, I saw an old gentleman with his two unleashed dogs going where they wished. Why are we the problem? We were given an ultimatum, essentially, by this lady that we needed to be out of there before 6 a.m. Otherwise, her boss was gonna come there, possibly find out, and kick her ass. Lady, I don't give a shit at this point. I really don't care. But just imagine the brick she would have fucking shot if she knew just how many animals we actually had in that room. Once again, because of the situation and all this shit, I had mental breakdown number 2 in the very tiny and suspicious bathroom of this motel room. I'm sensing a pattern. The next day was kind of a repeat of events, in a way. Except this time, we had essentially run out of possible motel rooms that we could stay for the night. So, my mom came up with the plan that we would simply sleep in the car. We would take turns sleeping in the car and be at a truck stop. Personally, I thought that was a terrible fucking idea. I know it wasn't a great idea in her mind either, but we were, again, out of choices. However, before we went ahead and went there, we stopped at kind of an acquaintance's house. This is an acquaintance who has quickly become a fantastic friend, and this is one of the reasons. We went to her house, and that was mainly so that we could let the cats out of their carriers so that they could use the litter box, eat, all that shit. And my mom told her idea, this plan with the truck stop. And bless bless this woman, because her immediate response was, oh hell no. And she let us stay in her house for the night. And actually, for quite some time after that, until we could get access to the fucking money from our house. She's a fantastic person, and we've gotten to know her a hell of a lot better through this, and vice versa. And she appreciates us very much, and God, we appreciate her, let me tell you, okay? I cannot vocalize enough how grateful I am. I literally bowed to her that night when she said we could stay in her house. Fast forward a little bit, and we finally got access to the money, and we were able to rent an RV about mid-October. We kind of continued to live on this lady's property, technically in the RV, just out of her house, but on her property. Then we went to a campground in Pueblo, if anybody knows where that is in Colorado, and that's kind of where we spent Halloween, I believe, which is a bizarre fucking experience. And during this period, as we're looking for on our phones through apps, yada yada yada, for houses and actually going to see houses, we also managed to do a little bit of exploring. We were initially looking for ghost towns, but unfortunately, a majority of these ghost towns near Pueblo are like actual people living there towns. Kind of disappointing, really. We did get to explore. Mom, my brother, and I, we got to explore a place called Bishop Castle. It's a literal fucking castle. It was all created by one guy. He built it all himself, and I've got footage of it, so I might show that to you guys. After a while, we then went to the Pueblo South / Colorado City campgrounds and continued to look for a house. Essentially, we were going further and further south of the state, trying to find a place that would work for us, that wasn't just outrageously priced. Now, we were set to look at a place that looked kind of promising. It was kind of like a farmhouse with multiple other little places that could be rented out, or could be perhaps spaces for someone else. However, the night before we were set to go look at it, we were contacted by the realtor of the place saying that they needed to cancel because the owner found out her daughter was around someone who tested positive for COVID. However, this did lead my mom to look more seriously at a place that popped up kind of fresh and new on one of these house sites in a place called Chama. If you don't know, because I didn't, Chama is a village. It's not even a little town. It's a fucking village. And it is barely across the border of Colorado into New Mexico. The drive to Chama was actually quite beautiful because there's a lot of national forests. There's a lot of reserves. But we checked out this house in Chama. It is kind of tucked in, as it were. It's away from big towns, big cities, which is what we wanted. Lots of trees, 2 stories. It's just a really nice place. We've got like 2 or 3 neighbors that are close by. Mom, Dad, and I were the first ones to come check this particular house out. And as we're walking through, I'm one of those people, okay? I'm one of those people who has to have a good feeling from a place before I say, yeah, this could be it. And there were a couple, I'm not gonna lie, throughout this entire process, there were a couple where I was like, yeah, this isn't bad. This house is the only one where, as we were stepping outside from looking at the place, I literally grabbed my mom and said, I like this place. So, we kind of figured this was the one. This house was the one that was going to work best for us. So we put a bid in for it before the realtor even returned to her office. So a while longer, we had inspections done, we had little things checked out just to make sure it was all cool. There are some things that we still need to fix. I mean, we brought my brother here just to make sure that we were all on the same page. He agreed, and that just settled it and we got ownership of the house. We officially traveled to and moved into this house on the 15th of December. It was late as fuck, I'm not gonna lie. It's a hell of a drive. But it was really late. It was snowing. We had, I'm not joking, we had over 2,000 pounds worth of flooring that we plan on putting in stacked in the RV as we were driving down here. So technically, I suppose we officially got here and moved into this house really, really late on the 15th / really, really early on the 16th. I actually finally went to sleep, like official sleep, as the sun was rising. I had breakfast before I was able to sleep for the night. But that's, in a nutshell, I know this is gonna be hell to edit, but in a nutshell, that's what happened. And what's happening currently, as you can see, I've already fucked the place up by painting it. This is my room, in case you couldn't tell. I'm gonna do an official room tour once I get all of my shit back and decorate as I've always wanted to decorate. But that's kind of what my parents and my brother are doing right now. I'm watching the house and the animals while they take trips back to where our storage units are and loading up this moving truck that we've rented and bringing all the shit down. It's an over 300-mile drive, my friends. That's, if you're lucky, about 5 hours one way. But now you guys are more informed, caught up, and everything with where I've been. I do apologize for the absence. It's just, I knew I was not going to be able to make any content during this sort of limbo stage of things. I technically can't even really make content right now. I have my computer and everything set up, but I don't have my camera just yet, except for this vlog camera. I'm trying to get settled more. This is really, really bizarre to me. Very, very new, very uncertain for me mentally, but I'm getting there. More stuff that I have of mine that's with me again, the better I do. Essentially, the more I make this feel like home, the better I will be. And once I'm there, once I'm in that state, that zen-like state, and I have some scripts lined up and ready to go and ready to film, I'll be knocking those out as fast as I can and getting back into the groove, if you will, of making content for you guys. I just wanted to let you know things. This door behind me is what leads to the attic. I have attic access in my room, but it's a huge fucking space that is unfinished. So the plan, at least in my mind, is take a good chunk of that, and that will be my official studio. This is temporary. That will be the official, complete, ready, just film everything studio, okay? And perhaps another little section nearby for a library. I thought it would be very nice to have a library where perhaps we could host clue games. I don't know. If you made it all the way through, good for you. I don't know how the fuck I did, okay? And I was there. So if you made it all the way through, hello. If you made it all the way through, then I guess let me know by leaving a comment down below telling me what you look forward to most upon my return to creating content on YouTube. I just need a little bit of an ego boost right now, okay? Just give me that. Hey? Okay. I would like to thank you guys for being so patient and understanding of everything and even encouraging me to take a bit of a break. I do appreciate that. I did need it. I still kinda need it, but we're gonna work with what we get. I'll see you guys later.